Forest fires in the north of Argentina continue to spread in the province of Corrientes. About 800,000 hectares are covered by fire. According to satellite images, the fire spread rate is almost 30,000 hectares per day. Given the extent of the damage, Gustavo Valdez, governor of Corrientes Province, has declared the region an ecological disaster zone. The first fires appeared here back in January, and in the conditions of drought, the flames engulfed vast territories. Agricultural land was destroyed by fire, many animals died. Despite their best efforts, firefighters are unable to cope with the elements. The weather forecast is not encouraging as high temperatures are expected over the weekend with no rain, according to the National Weather Service. Fires are also burning on the islands in the Parana Delta, according to a fire department report. Local fire brigades are assisted by national park staff, police and the army in fighting the blaze. Brazilian firefighters were called in to put out the fire. In the northwest of Saudi Arabia, near the city of Tabuk, snow fell, which is a rarity for the Arabian Peninsula. Tourists and locals rushed to Tabuk to see a phenomenon unique to the region. The most remarkable thing is that this snow has already fallen here for the second time this year. The first time such an event was noted at the beginning of this year. At the end of January, there were also snowfalls in Morocco and Algeria. Then the snow was covered with sand from the dunes and everything looked like popsicle ice cream. The snow will melt soon. The next week the temperature will not drop below plus 15 degrees Celsius. Videos and photos of the event have been widely circulated on social media. According to local media, the authorities blocked the road leading to the area, as thousands of people began to come there to admire the scenery. Germany is recovering from the rampage of two hurricanes in its territory. Hurricane ZEYNEP, which followed Hurricane Elena, caused at least 2 deaths in Germany. Rail traffic in northern Germany and in the northern parts of North Rhine-Westphalia continues to be severely restricted. The fire brigades work continuously. In Berlin alone, the fire brigade carried out more than 2,000 weather-related operations. The maximum wind gusts reached 40 meters per second. Stormy squalls in some cities caused flooding. The hurricane also kept East Frisian fire brigades on their toes. More than 520 operations are reported in the Aurich area. According to firefighters, this is certainly a historic number. As a result of falling trees, many roads were blocked. The hurricane also affected Luxembourg, but the damage was less than in some other European countries. No one was killed in the duchy, although bad weather disrupted traffic. Hurricane ZEYNEP also reached Belarus. The wind in some places reached 30 meters per second in social networks. Local residents shared photos and videos of its consequences. In the Grodno region, a hurricane wind destroyed a carport. The roof crushed 2 cars at once. In the center of Grodno, the wind laid the flags on the ground and overturned the stop. The rescue service of the region receives reports of falling trees. The elements disrupted power supply in many areas. In the Brest region, a powerful wind uprooted trees and tore off billboards. In the Minsk region today, gusts of wind reached a speed of 24 meters per second. In the Kletsik district, 12 roofs were damaged, electricity was lost in the settlements, and falling trees were recorded. The Ministry of Emergency Situations warns of the danger, recommends not to go out and park personal vehicles in safe places. A huge storm system swept through the central and eastern states from Thursday to Saturday. A strong winter storm, accompanied by snow and hail, covered the western coast of the country earlier this week. The battle between warm and cold air caused severe thunderstorms from Oklahoma to Alabama to Kentucky and generated strong winds, hail and tornadoes. Powerful gusts of wind were observed in many areas. By morning, at least 60,000 homes were out of power in Pennsylvania. A record amount of snow fell in Kansas City. The National Weather Service Office recorded 16 centimeters of snow in the city, a new daily record. The previous record in Kansas City for this day dates back to 1893, when 15 centimeters of snow fell. In many cities, the snow depth reached 35 centimeters. Snow-covered roads created dangerous driving conditions. About 10,000 people were affected by severe flooding in the state of Rondônia in Brazil. Due to heavy rains, the level in the Machado River, which is a tributary of the Amazon, rose by 7 meters. The flood brought the greatest destruction to the city of Cacol in the east of the state. The main highways and adjacent residential areas of the city, whose population is about 110,000 people, were completely flooded. Local residents are being evacuated from the affected areas. People evacuated from the disaster zone are placed in the premises of schools and hospitals. In order to prevent epidemics, the population is being vaccinated against yellow fever in 4 days. 130 millimeters of rain fell in Cacoala. Flooding affected at least 20 blocks in the Cacoala urban area. The flood level reaches 2 meters. Many residents are forced to wait for help and evacuation on the roofs of their houses. A powerful cyclone came to Egypt, which brought heavy rains and sandstorms. The resorts located on the Red Sea also got it. The maximum power of the sandstorm hit the cities located on the shores of the Gulf of Suez. In the area of the resort of Ain es-Sakhna, a cloud of dust over the sea was noted. Due to a sandstorm in several provinces of Egypt, schools were closed where Sunday classes were held. Wind gusts were up to 17 meters per second, while visibility dropped to 100 meters. Authorities issued an orange weather warning until Monday and asked local residents to cut down on private vehicle travel during the storm. The Egyptian Meteorological Office predicts the dust storm will spread to cities along the Suez Canal in northeast Egypt, the East Coast and North Sinai. A powerful dust tornado was seen in the Chimbuku department, Paraguay. Local residents were surprised by the appearance of an atmospheric phenomenon in this region of the country. This year is the third tornado that has been reported in Paraguay. It was captured on mobile phones by several residents and shared on social networks. As eyewitnesses of this phenomenon noted, the tornado raged for about 10 minutes, then dissolved. The consequences of its passage were not noted. Thousands of dead fish and manta rays have been found dead in Playa El Espino in El Salvador. Special services arrived at the scene in order to take samples of water, soil and fish carcasses. It is necessary to understand what influenced such a massive release of fish and shellfish. The find, according to the Civil Protection Rescuer, was made on Sunday at about 5 a.m. This attracted the attention of tourists and local residents, because they had not seen anything like this before in this place. According to experts, as one of the versions of what happened, it was connected with a red tide that hits the coasts of the country. At the moment, the authorities have announced a warning on the coasts of El Salvador due to the phenomenon of poisonous red tide in the sea, as well as a ban on shellfish. Tourists are advised to refrain from swimming in the sea. Environment Canada has issued a blizzard warning for the Waterloo region and Wellington County, with wind gusts of up to 25 miles per hour expected. Some areas are already experiencing near zero visibility due to snow and blizzards. Up to 30 centimeters of snowfall is predicted. In Toronto, 900 snowplows have been taken to the streets. Nearly 200 flights have been cancelled at Toronto International Airport. 350 accidents have been recorded in Toronto alone. According to the Ontario Provincial Police, several people received various kinds of injuries, but, fortunately, none of them require hospitalization of the victims. Snow combined with strong winds, icing of the road are the main causes of accidents on highways. Refrain from traveling so that cars do not interfere with the clearing of at least the main highways. An unusual and rare phenomenon could be observed in the state of Alabama, USA. This is called the leaky cloud effect. This phenomenon is quite unusual, but scientists were able to explain this natural phenomenon. Such holes are formed when the water temperature in the clouds becomes below zero, but the water has not yet had time to freeze. In the photo published by eyewitnesses of the event, in the middle of dense clouds covering the sky, a sunlit oval hole shone, and another broom-shaped cloud rose in the center. Thank you for watching the video. Thanks for supporting the channel. Good wind and weather.